For our next challenge, we're continuing on with Custom Nation Week, ladies and gentlemen. We have Habibi and the Student facing off, and I got there first. Starting as a custom nation, own the most provinces in the New World. Do they gotta start in the New World? No, they don't. Can they? Sure. They can only have 5 provinces and a maximum of 200 points, though. You know, the conditions are a maximum of 5 starting provinces, 200 points, and of course, just like with Florry and Playmaker here, they have to build their nation live after the timer starts. So we're going to see them construct their nation, and that takes away from their time.
Let's introduce Habibi live to his face. All right, Hawk, take it away with Habibi's introduction.
Habibi took a brave stance against Para Bellum itself, lobbying accusations of corruption and cheating. We've taken those accusations to heart and investigated ourselves. Fortunately, we found ourselves innocent of all crimes, so a libel suit against Habibi is in the works. But we've been advised we legally cannot say more. A win this week would ignite Habibi's hopes, so let's see what he's got.
I think maybe we can learn about our next player. Maybe we can learn about his strategy too, if he does decide to tell us.
Let's reveal it. Let's drag him in. It is the Student.
The Student was devastated by last week's loss. However, there are rumors he lost just for show to drop the bookies' odds of him to place a larger bet. Will we see the Student resurge?
Let's get it going. In 3, in 2, in 1, go. So they have 5 provinces, to be clear. So how custom nations work in EU4, at most, I don't know why you would, but how custom nations work in EU4 is you cannot have your other provinces too far away from your capital province. So if you put your province in California, for example, then you can't get too far. So the trick, in my opinion, is placing it just right. I think Habibi's done a good job here of placing
now,
one
where
province.
exactly is he placing it?
It's next to the Mayans in Mexico. You place one there. I would say you place one in South America. He is light blue.
Ah, okay, I see it now. Okay, I see it.
You place one there, and you place one in North America, and then you have 2 more to do as you see fit. The reasoning for that is then you border as many different places as possible,
nice. There we
and
go.
you
Just
can
saw
start.
That. And there,
Poof,
perfect.
And you can start surging. This is going to be a lot of conquest, and the interesting thing is, and there you can see Habibi has done one in South America.
Perfect.
It's going to be incredibly conquest focused, but in several different ways. One thing I would have said that would be good as a first idea is to disband, to regain manpower when disbanding. That could be a good idea because you are not going to be able to move your troops from South America to North America. It's not going to be possible. You're not going to be able to do that. Otherwise, infantry fire and infantry fire and infantry shock would be a good idea. Or if you want to go full colonization and think maybe that would work, because half-finished colonies do show up in the development tab.
They do.
There's a lot of different options here.
Now, what do you think about this option? What do you think about Siberian Frontiers?
Siberian Frontiers would be very, very good. Slow at the start, and it goes from there. Habibi has launched 3 minutes in. That was a quick nation.
Yeah, that's a quick one. Student still setting it up.
This is something I wanted to see.
Let's go, Laith.
This is something I wanted to see. So there was the question about Siberian Frontiers. Siberian Frontiers, if you didn't know, is next to a province that you have. You can click this button. If you can get a trade route back to your capital, and I think what he's doing is maybe he's flipping his capital. There you go. So he's moving his capital over here, and then he's going to, so he'll move his capital again, right? Potentially, and then he'll click the Siberian Frontiers. It's going to cost 20 to establish Siberian Frontier. This is a free colony. You don't have to pay for this upkeep, and over time,
he's already got so many up, dude.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the Student is still setting up his game.
11 provinces right now.
He's up to a flying start.
He's up to 11, and that's really important.
Up to 11?
Because the more provinces you touch, the more you spread out. Siberian Frontiers is going to be the way to go. You could maybe conquer as fast as Siberian Frontiers because it is a very slow start. He has taken the step nomads. That's why he's called Horde. He's gone for move capital cost modifier minus 80%, which is a very niche idea. That
it's out there. It's so out there.
This is the beautiful, and there we go. A war has been declared. This is the beautiful thing about the custom nations. There are so many ideas. Like you've never seen move capital cost reduction. You've never seen it. I believe his troops will be very, very good because he does have the Eastern Storm Cavalry. Horde units, by the way, at the start of the game are absolutely phenomenal. They drop
Oh,
off
yeah.
very
Oh,
quickly,
yeah.
but they're very good. It's Anatolian, it's their own, so they can design their own troops
Yeah.
as well. This is where like customization.
Take us through the religion, the culture, the government form, everything.
So the religion is Shia, presumably for
Let's go to Laith POV right here.
presumably for the shock. Yep, there we go. Shock damage,
Yeah, shock damage
over here, and as well as the morale of armies. He is a tribe, no special mission tree here, just going to be pure conquest. And he basically will want to take as much land as possible that has open borders over here. And then just, Siberian frontiers
Just
it
pound
all
everywhere,
over the
yeah.
place. We're going to see a massive score here. We're going to see a really, really big score. Like I said, these are slow, though. These are very, very slow.
Well, we gotta keep in mind,
50.
unfinished ones, they do count.
They do
Now,
count. But once this is finished, he can take a bunch more. Like this one finishes, he gets 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is a multiplier. There's 2 down here that you can grab. This is not the best place for it.
So
This is a very good place. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
awesome.
once that's done,
awesome down there.
you start to spread. And then this one's going to be huge as well.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as Habibi gets into that, the student is finally in the game. So let's go to my POV right here, and I can show off everything that he's done. So he has also taken 5 provinces, albeit a lot of his provinces are in weird places. Now, he's got one here. It's his capital in the Caribbean. Another one down here in Cayenne, Manhattan, New Orleans, and then he's got this one, which is, I don't know, what is this? Somewhere in Tennessee, or in Kentucky, or something like that. Now, he's
Crazy.
close
You're
to
the
these
only
North
10
American guys. So he can do annex native tribe on these guys or whatever. But the strange thing for me is he isn't next to the Incans or the Mayans and Aztecs, which really I would say these are the 2 main regions you want to be next to, right? Because all of these guys got multiple provinces instead of the OPM tribes. Now, going into the governments, he is also a steppe nomad, just like Habibi. So that's that. He is Shinto religion. Perhaps for the morale of armies. His culture is Mayan, actually. And, he's Mayan culture. Why? Maybe for stealing Aztec mission tree. Maybe he is planning to do that. And also, let's take a look at his ruler first. 666, Midas touch strict. Air, 000 careful. And 060 consort. He does know about the negative ideas, and he's taken plus 20% raising power gain and Siberian frontiers. Already establishing Siberian frontiers. His nation name is Florry, by the way, with the... Well, I think that's the Moldavian flag bull on his flag.
How have we had 2 custom nations called Florry, and neither one of them was made by Florry? Here we do see, flip to my POV, we do see a victory for the Horde. Very nice indeed, and I think we see... Did he shift the capital? I think he shifted the capital for a second. Got 2. Presumably he now has flipped south. Yep, there we go.
Ooh, nice.
More. I think this might be why the student placed his in abandoned areas. I think he might have thought that he would be inhibited by other nations. Maybe he thinks he can scale faster. So I'm glad we see Siberian frontiers in both, because I think that is the strategy here, but in very, very different ways. And now we see a war over on this side of things. These should be easy wars. These guys all have Tech 1.
Let's go back to the student in the meantime, or actually to my POV. He has also started his first war versus some of the southern tribes right here of the Muskogean and Caddoan culture groups, as we can see, fighting a couple of nations.
Speed is going to be of the essence. These guys want to pause as little as possible. True. And frankly, their pacing is roughly the same.
He is annexing native tribes. So he's not moving them, he is full annexing them. With that, it does open up a lot for the Siberian frontiers. Now, for that, of course, he is going to have to move his capital. A big brain play by Habibi right there. I'm going to be honest, even though I am the best EU4 player, if I did this challenge, I wasn't going to think about the moving capital for this scenario.
Let me show you this. Lenka was the province he started with. The problem with Lenka is the ships are on this side.
It's on the other side, yeah.
And you kind of want the ships to be on that side, because the natives nowadays do have ships. Back in my day, natives didn't have ships, but now
they got cogs.
News.
So
they're going to go and occupy these provinces. Now, it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow whilst occupied.
Doesn't if it's occupied. Interesting. So that's something to know.
Well, that's
most
very,
of Habibi is occupied now.
Very, very important. Very important, because that's I don't think he knows that. That's
now, another thing that's worth mentioning here, chat, is that both Habibi and The Student lost last week.
That is true.
So they're both at 0 points right now. Whichever one of these guys loses, after 2 weeks, he's still gonna be at 0 points, which is definitely gonna be mentally tough.
Is this? Yeah, it's definitely not still growing. My concern for Habibi would be that the natives do the ultimate insult and they burn the colony.
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't really see non-colonizers doing that, but
No.
there's definitely a chance for it. So, Student right now fighting a Pakaha, Chickasaw, and Nakatish right here. As we can see, once again, in these southern tribes, I'm really surprised to see the lack of focus on the Mexican guys and on the Incan guys, man. So the Student right now, he's chilling. He's moving his guys down to here to beat up some rebels. He does have a province here too. I think he's taken that in a war, if I'm not mistaken, ladies and gentlemen. Still Siberian frontiering it up over here in these empty provinces over in the Caribbean. So, but after this, you know, starting in Dominica, man, I don't think he can establish one right here. So really, by putting himself on this island, he's actually kind of limited himself. I would probably put my capital here or here, to be honest. Yeah, probably down here. So you can Siberian frontier your way down to the Incan guys, get a province here. Pretty much, I think Habibi's setup, man, his 5 starting provinces right there, they were like perfectly placed. Student's province placement, I'm not too sold on, but he's doing well. 26 provinces, that's what the Student is up to. So, yeah. Oh, someone's saying Habibi ruler died. Let's see how detrimental that was for him.
Oh, it's a regency.
The 666 starting guy, not very
it's a
good.
regency. That's why. That's why it's so much.
Let's flip to Laith's POV. Wait, Queen Regency?
No. Try.
No.
No war's being declared.
Oh my God! For 7 years?
I can hear him deving. I think he's deving the Renaissance. For 7 years.
Oh my God! 7 years of no war is gonna hold him back significantly, ladies and gentlemen. That's just unlucky. Going over to my POV, ladies and gentlemen, the Student establishing Siberian frontiers in the southern U.S. like a madman. With 36 minutes left, he's up to 45. He's just doubled it from a minute ago. Say good job.
You see that? He assaulted that fort. That's very good. I mean, we're used to the Student being passive. Maybe he wasn't lying when he said that he threw the last game. Because I'll be honest, last week he was very passive, very timid, and that's unfortunately sometimes his game. But now we're going to start to see, I think, a different side to him as we crack on.
He's just warming up. You know, last season, man, he lost the first challenge then too. Ended up almost getting into the final. Of course, he did get eliminated, but let's not talk about that. But almost made it into the final. But yeah,
what do you think he goes from here? Do you think he just cleans up North America? Or do you think
I think he'll continue rolling all of these guys here and up here too, man. I don't know why.
He splits.
He might not even focus on these guys at all. So, see, he's doing it down here too. Yeah, he's pretty much establishing frontiers everywhere.
I think that's probably the closest you get to Brazil, because he's probably going to try and head to eastern Brazil. There's a lot of, again, how Siberian Frontiers works, chaps, is you click the button and it creates a free colony that goes over time. And once that's done, every province around that's colonizable, you can then colonize. So you can snowball real quick. Yeah. We saw what? 5, 6 Siberian Frontiers at the start, and now we'll start to see...
now look at this. More than 20 at the same time running for the Student.
Yeah. All right. Apparently, Habibi got up and left for a little while because, well, he still has another.
Yeah, that Regency, man, that's just unlucky, yo. The Student getting sieged down now. His colony's not ticking up either, just like Habibi's. So he is getting a little bogged down versus these 5 natives that he's fighting. These 5 guys. Colonies in Brazil.
Once they expand out, that's
less than halfway. Less than halfway. But the thing is,
2 more, and then
next to this. It's still
3, but once he gets that next province, 3 more. I think it's probably the furthest east he could have gone.
The Student sort of getting bogged down in this war, man. Pausing, he's brought it back down to speed 4. You know, he's getting sieged down. His Siberian frontiers aren't taking. It's just that for some reason these 5 natives right here have given him a lot of trouble. But there we go. There's a peace out on them, and yeah, he just called it. He just called. He took some provinces,
My
but
God.
he called it. Let's see what Habibi's doing then, or what you're doing. With Habibi.
I'm not much. Frankly, not much.
Show it off. Show it off.
So the situation is the same as it has been previously. Unfortunately, he's still ever so he's got about another 3-4 years before he can really get going again. Now, you might think that's horrible for him, and it is, but these Siberian frontiers are almost done, and we're going to start to see what that means here. There you go. Kotaname has been complete. So now he can click these buttons as he does immediately, and that's 2 more provinces on the board. And as these expand, he's going to, he's going to have a pretty good time. Now, bear in mind, the difference between him and the student is that the student has more scalability now with regards to launching into these areas. However, in the latter half of this challenge, there are going to be more opportunities for Habibi to launch into the Aztec.
So yeah, here we are in the students' game, ladies and gentlemen. You know, he's fighting some natives over in Mississippi. Yeah. So if we go back to my POV right here, he's still focusing on sort of these southeastern tribes, as we can see, fighting these 4 guys right now. He's being sieged up here. So really, there hasn't been that much growth after we saw, you know, that explosive growth of frontiers from like 20-something provinces to 40-something provinces. Right now, he's kind of just chilling. Fighting wars, yes, but we're not seeing that massive blobbing. These provinces in Brazil almost done. These provinces in, Hispaniola done. So this is his main region of focus right now. All of these dark striped provinces, they are frontiers. You know, dark provinces are cored up, light striped, they're territorial cores, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. But 22 minutes left. I think I'm going to do one of the final checks right here. I can let you know that the student is currently at 52 provinces.
And it's
going
to
to know
scale.
what Habibi's at. Yeah, his capital is in Brazil currently right here. So
and he can't move
yeah,
his
he
capital
has started up the new ones here. Once again, it's still just 2. These are pretty slow, so I don't know if this was the best place for it, man. Might have been here, honestly. So you can grow out in circles, to be honest.
Can we flip to Habibi's POV and we'll catch up with him and see how he's doing?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
He's golden there. He's got a golden there, and he's going for war taxes, it appears. The colonies on the right are starting to grow, and I believe he's out of his regency, so he can crack on and begin his conquest. And I think he's going to begin. He is. Look at that. 39 out of 22. Those gold provinces are going to be starting to come in clutch, and he is going to start conquests in a variety of different areas. This is what we're saying when we say Habibi has more scalability. Yes, he's declared war on war.
Oh, nice. Finally, man. Finally. All right, now he's about to roll all those Nahuatl and Mayan guys, I think.
I think so. I think he might have devved Renaissance as well. He was definitely deving for a little bit, which I think is going to be... Oh my God, he's building more troops. And he has another reform.
Some might say he's about to go sicko mode, but the students' choices, man, for the Caribbean and for Brazil, not looking too hot, man. Honestly, I can't say I agree with that. I can't say I agree with that. No. I'm still baffled.
Can we flip to your POV and tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, you know, nothing really specific to say right here. I'm still baffled by the choice to not border the Incans or the Aztec guys, man. There we go. So Habibi going hard. You know, if you see these dogs in your front yard, just know I'm upstairs. I'm going hard. That's what Habibi is doing right now, ladies and gentlemen. Fighting the Mayan guys. Some would say Mayans are annoying in EU4, along with the Nahuatls, because they usually have forts. There are a lot of forts over in the region of Mexico and Central America, but it's much better to fight Yucatan, man, and take 3 provinces from them than fight a native tribe and take 1 province from them.
I'm concerned he might go bankrupt.
You think? Oh, well, there's the pop-up. Meanwhile, he's just become a kingdom. From a duchy to a kingdom. Not even starting empire rank.
Yeah, he could have started as an empire.
Yeah, he's actually
what's the year in both the games? So 63 in this one. Sorry, Mitch, do you mind showing off Habibi so we see the year?
Yeah, 63 in student.
60 in Habibi.
60, and so yeah, Habibi has caught up a little bit. He's caught up
a little bit. We saw him in the 1776 challenge that we had against Florry, Habibi versus Florry. He's very, very good at fast New World conquest. I am concerned. He has taken all corruption, though. He might have sold. He's trying to switch around his loans right now.
Tough. Those gold mines not helping out that much? Question mark?
Perhaps not. Perhaps not. I wish I could go and hop around his nation and and see. But it does look like people are firm on Habibi. I think that's a bold choice. We did disagree with the starting situation of the student. We think that he did isolate himself a little bit. However, he did have.
It up.
He did. I mean, let's flip to your POV and show it off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? Habibi's in a bunch of wars.
Look at that.
Student doing one by one. And now, with about 12 minutes remaining, you know, he still has some frontiers that can finish. And then he can establish frontiers next to them. It's very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. He can still establish more, but these are the guys he's fighting right now. So still going for some guys. The thing is, only 3 provinces that he can take here, right?
So he's finished that island?
No,
how close
he left
is he?
from here.
He's
not doing it. These are done. He's not doing it anymore. Yeah. So once he moved his capital from there, he stopped doing there immediately. I think this was a mistake, honestly.
Yeah.
But over here, they're still going.
They're still going. But he could get another 2, 3 right at the end from that.
After these are done, he can probably do 2 here and another 2 here. But his capital is not down here anymore. It's in New Orleans.
To shift it around.
As
I mean,
see.
It goes
I don't
to show
think he'd move it.
There are so many different strategies. We're seeing a lot of people saying Florry wins a game wasn't even playing and definitely rigged. I mean, that's just the power of Florry. The scoreboard's going to look great after this one. So Florry, by the way, is top right now with 4 points. Playmaker does have 2. One of these individuals is going to have 2 points because they were previously on 0, and they're going to be presumably at the bottom of the leaderboard. And then our next matchup, we'll see if the chairman can pour back some points or if Zlewikk will join Florry at the top of the leaderboard. So it's now we start to stratify, and it's this week where things we'll start to see how things are looking in terms of the grand final.
You know, look at how far the student has made it up north. In fact, he's almost, not almost, he is all the way in Canada. Continuing to declare on the natives, man. Listen, if he wins, I'm going to be honest, I am going to admit I was wrong. That this was obviously the strategy instead of fighting, you know, the Nahuatl and the Mayan and the Incan guys. But let's go back to Florry. We haven't seen him in a while. Let's see how he's going with, sorry, Habibi. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean, man. Come on. There we go. Boom.
So as we enter into the final stretches, is it going to be stretched too far? I mean, personally, I like, obviously, it's always better for us to see them stretch their nations too far and have to stop early than not go far enough and think I could have had another 5 minutes out of this. It's a very delicate balance because we actually see this a lot with players who haven't played these challenges before. They just try and keep, like, they play to conventional wisdom. They don't nation.
They play like regular EU4. Yeah.
If I can take your nation at the end of the challenge and still play it, you haven't pushed your nation far enough.
Something wrong. Yeah. But yeah, both of our players going super hard, ladies and gentlemen. In the final 5 minutes, Laith, you can go ahead and give them a 5-minute warning. Absolutely. As we flip to the student, we've seen Habibi going super hard in the Mexico region. But let's see what the student is doing now. If we flip to my POV, he's just continuing to establish Siberian frontiers. So many of them active. Fighting Isleta right now. These guys are usually pretty successful in establishing a federation here, the Isleta Federation. So, you know, after he goes hard on these guys right here, more Siberian frontiers can be established here. There's still so much more to do, man. And he hasn't even touched a lot of the Great Lakes guys up here, especially around Lake Ontario, some other guys up here. So
what's his financial
these guys
situation?
really haven't stopped.
Could he be pushing further?
Then what?
Like, could he be stretching his nation out further right now? Like,
well, you know, he's pretty low on manpower, not losing that much money financially.
How many loans has he got?
He can only have 12 loans, interestingly. So that's not that much at all. He currently has 6, so it's gonna be tough for him to push further, honestly. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially with some of these forts. He's getting bogged down over here in the mountain forts with the in the southern, like, Colorado regions or whatever you want to call it. Tough, man, tough. Arizona.
Oh, man. I mean, the thing is, all of his provinces are concentrated in that one area. The other ones are basically write-offs, right? He's not going to be conquering that much more. Whereas Habibi is all over the place. And because we only see his that one view, it's going to be really hard for us to gather who he is. We're going to have to... The final 5.
Well, he's in 3 wars, as far as we can tell.
There we go.
There's an annex on that one.
And this is where Habibi does thrive in terms of, like, the chaos of a final 5. There are few players that are good at that. I would say Zlewikk, Habibi, and Florry are probably the best in the sort of final 5s. So I think Chairman for his like theory crafting might be probably his strength. The students, when like he was saying, when he's on his game, and I think we're seeing him decently on his game. He's on his game.
And the Playmaker has been really good so far too.
Well, I was going to say the Playmaker
almost winning this week. He's the one to watch.
Strength is just, frankly, I don't think he understands consequences, and that is a weakness and a strength. The dude almost beat Florry having played 25 minutes and declaring 1 war. That's a ridiculous stat.
Lost on luck due to siege ticks.
Yeah, like 14%, 28%, 28%, right? If he'd won one of those, he would have beaten Florry.
Yeah.
From like 2 wars. It's ridiculous. As we enter into the final 2 minutes, I'll give them their warnings.
Peace out by Student. This may have been his final war, ladies and gentlemen. Still so many Siberian frontiers that can be established right now. Look at this, man. Look at Florry's name getting stretched out all over the map. But there we go. 1 minute left, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll give him the 30-second
Caused
warning.
by the Student. His army is up here, preparing to declare on Kiowa. If he eats these guys, that's like 4 more Siberian frontiers. And these
I don't
guys...
think he has the time for it, man.
Yeah, I don't think he has the time. Only 50 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen, in the second challenge of the day, where they have to own the most provinces in the New World, starting off as a custom nation with no more than 5 provinces. You know, very similar strategies, both going for hordes, both going for Siberian frontiers, both going hard. Student is starting a final war as the Armored Baron gifts 5 memberships. Appreciate that. Yeah, 20 seconds left. Laith has gone to tell them we have 20 seconds left. Very close. I'm going to be getting ready to pause for the Student right here. We're going to have to keep an eye out on Florry's game as well.
Habibi's.
So, there we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Just like that, we are done, ladies and gentlemen. Student paused early enough. I think Habibi is done as well. As Laith talks to Habibi right there, I'm guessing, you know, just doing some banter. I can go ahead and call it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Challenge 2 of Week 2 of Season 2. Lots of 2s of EU4 Para Bellum. To repeat once again, if any of you are just joining, we had Habibi versus the Student in a challenge where they had to start as a custom nation and own the most provinces in the New World. They could only start with 5 provinces max, 200 points max, and the number we're looking at is the number in the economy tab. Laith, do you have Habibi's number?
I do.
You do, and I have the Student's number.
Well, go
ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to see? Do you want to know who won?
What if they don't want to know?
Both of these guys lost last week. One of them is going to take their first points. All right, flip to my POV. I'll go first. Ladies and gentlemen, the Student elected to go with the conquering North American tribes strategy and slight colonization and establishing frontiers in Hispaniola and in South America. I can let you know that the Student has ended his game with 119 provinces.
Very good.
Very, very strong showing. That's the number. In Habibi's game,
it was 80. Obviously that one doesn't count. He did confirm for me previously. It was 80 provinces, so the Student does win. I mean, that regency was always going to be really, really hard to get past.
Yeah.